Right. Well, yeah, one thing interesting that people do seem to miss about Jeffrey Epstein is his financing of transhumanism, his financing of Lieber and Lieber's lab that was in the Wuhan also, and the MIT Media Lab and the Harvard and all these scientists after he got out of jail, that all, including Bezos and Musk and Gates, and how Epstein was so involved in everything and connects all these people. And you have to just think, and then again, we know that he's in Council of Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission. It's just, yeah, what bothers me the most today, people were so excited about the trial starting. And all I thought is, so they're going to let four girls over a small period of time testify that they were trafficked by a Madam Maxwell. And that's it. Because the crimes of Maxwell and Epstein and the whole cabal, this whole group of pseudoscientists, transhumanists, is so much bigger. And I agree with you to a certain extent that this is a show trial to shut the book on this.
Absolutely. I mean, let's look at just one aspect of what was discussed there. You talk about his relationship to Gates, and even before he was a convicted sex offender, when everybody knew, like they didn't know before, wink, 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 right?
Right.
You know, you look at Whitney Webb's work, and then you look at the fact that they never, ever, ever, ever officially went into Zorro Ranch and did any investigation whatsoever. And he was running a baby-making ranch. This is open eugenics, whether you believe what I to be a cover story that Epstein wanted to seed the earth with Epsteins. That's a real thing. No, I mean, you're probably looking at everything. From organ harvesting to cloning of certain things to even cryogenics and beyond. And you look at that top left corner picture for those that are watching on the video, and you see the landing area, but more so, you see that this is on a hill that goes down. And this is an intel officer running large sex operations. It's already with tech. You don't think there's the possibility when we talk about just what was going on. We know that there were certain underground facilities on his little island. You don't think they had super underground facilities here where the baby making ranch is? I mean, this is where people like Glenn Dubin and George Mitchell were named. And at the time, Bill Richardson, who was the governor of New Mexico, also named. All by Virginia Giuffre Roberts, who will not be testifying in this trial. Just like Maria Farmer will not be testifying in this trial. Annie Farmer will not be testifying in this trial. A lot of people of significance that have given detailed reports that have been confirmed multiple times, and especially Maria, who we know to be the first public person to go to the FBI and the NYPD, will not be testifying. That should scream show trial.
Right. And it's really sad and sick. And then I found out also, I'm sure you know this, that the judge not only is an Obama judge, but also was recommended by Schumer and now Biden to have a promotion after this trial is over. Like, that's not a conflict of interest at all.
You know, and it's the sister sorority to Skull and Bones. I believe it's, what is it? Quill and something or other. Quill and Suck. That's what I have to say about it. Like, it's so weird. And I don't think people get this, but I'm going to lay it down for those that didn't go to college. Even though I'm a college dropout, I am in a fraternity. And people that I never went to school with, in other words, were never even in class with me. I wasn't even around. They preceded me. People that are after me, I have relationships with because there is a network of those people. Many of the opportunities, all of us, many of my quote-unquote brothers have had, are not what they knew, but who they knew. And that's how they got their start. You know, I could talk about some of the bigger successes out there. My buddy was the assistant director on the latest movie, The Green Knight, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Old Man and the Gun, You Were Never Really Here. He was the DP on that, which is about human trafficking and Joaquin Phoenix. In fact, when he was telling me about that, when I hadn't seen him in years, I thought he was telling me about a movie that would never be made, okay? And he'd already made it.
Of course.
Yeah, but it made it. But that job was given to him by a brother. I mean, he's another college dropout. He didn't have a degree in anything, guys. So he got a job on a set just as a runner from another buddy of mine who was in the fraternity, whose dad was in the union and running these sets in New York City. And he started there, and he built his way up. And it was
Right.
through networking in so many cases. When you're on that level of Ivy League trust fund, millionaire and billionaire influences, and all of a sudden you're the judge in the Epstein case.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
and the Skull and Bones, which is this is the male fraternity. If you didn't know, guys, the original intelligence agencies, the Anglo-American ones that came over, are the Order of Skull and Bones. In fact, it's documented in Hollywood movies. If you watch The Good Shepherd, they explain to you how post-World War II, the OSS already had a lot of these Yale Skull and Bones types, because that's where it was big time hush hush. You did these rituals, you compromised yourself, okay?
Right.
You were singing and dancing in drag in Deer Island after the fact. All of that. In fact, the movie kicks off with Matt Damon, who's a recruit of Skull and Bones, in drag in a show tunes thing.
Right.
Right?
Well, hey.
You know?
That's part of the game. And like you said, these are I call it the poison Ivy League, because I grew up like you thinking, these people, I didn't really realize it was such a network. And the network starts young with them, with the boarding schools and the grooming and all of that. There's like the Choate and Andover and all these schools, and then they all end up going to the Ivy League schools if they weren't grandfathered in. And then you start to realize, here's something I've realized over the last, certainly during COVID, all these people were the easiest to brainwash. Because while I watched it go down, you were smart enough to leave New York right away. I was not. My lease is finally up now. But I'll tell you right now, it was the people that I went to the Ivy League schools, had the masters, the PhDs, worked at Goldman Sachs and at Columbia, that are walking around with masks and shields and gloves. And I'm watching and I'm thinking, and then I go to my corner to get my coffee from my bodega, and my Yemeni brothers at the corner get everything that's going on, and these people are freaking out because I'm not wearing a mask. Still, they are freaking out. It's unbelievable how blinded we were. This is another realization, the whole college scam, I think.
You know what? My brother said something to me that I thought was pretty profound when we were talking about this. And unfortunately, he is still in New York because his wife just still won't leave. I just hope that if they have to get out with this next wave of Omicron or whatever variant and whatever lockdowns are coming in the East Coast, that they're able to do so and finally snap out of it. Because I told you it was the forever shot in the beginning. I told you it wasn't one, it wasn't two, it was going to be multiple. And that is all the way come to fruition. I told you it was going to be rolling lockdowns and restrictions. And yes, that also happened. I also said it was going to be regional. Yes, that also happened.
You did.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's why I left, because I had to see it for myself. I wasn't sure, because you can't trust the media. And right now, you look at Florida, it has the lowest numbers out there. I did spend some time in Florida recently. I was very impressed with a lot of it, but I love where I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't love what's happening in my neighborhood right in Davenport with the kids, and that we're fighting a bureaucracy trying to enslave children for no reason. Again, I can sit there and watch, Mel, over in Texas, a football stadium filled with people for Triad Combat and Metallica concert like I've never seen, and you're still masking the kids up. Like, this is disgusting. We know what this is. This is abuse, and they're going for it. So the reason that those people get it and the other ones can't, because society has given those people so much generationally, and they're not in on the joke, right? Whereas the people down at the corner in the bodega have seen oppression and tyranny time and time again and know what it feels like and know what the talking points are. And they're the same damn talking points, the Bernaysian ones that we're getting right now. So
Yeah.
I'm just telling people, my brother was saying, we didn't take to the programming, man. We didn't graduate from college. We both went. We said, no. All of our smart, educated friends, look at what they're doing. He's like, what, 1 out of 10 gets it? He goes, all of the other ones are just following along. They're torturing their kids. They're acting like this is normal or it's going to go away. They're going to go along with the apps. They say it's not a big deal. It's like those people, they never learned to critically think. They learned how to remember stuff and do as they're told. And, we just were never really into that. And I wasn't.
Yeah.
I never was.
I know.
Yeah.
And earlier, well, RFK, I was watching him in an interview, and he just called it out what it is. It's Stockholm syndrome at this point. These people are loving their captors, thinking, and we talked about before, that it's also this model they set up. They create the problem. They make it so bad and so chaotic and so awful that these people are like, whatever you need to do to fix this, Just like when you were out there saying, "Oh, they're going to give you a little bit back, and then they're going to take it away again," and that's where we are.
Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and what you just saw was a small portion of my interview with Mel Krell. If you want to watch the entire thing uncensored, almost an hour long, you can do so exclusively over at The Rockfin. And remember, it's never about left or right, it's always about right and wrong.